do, but Big Shot Bob is walking.
No, it is much more important that Robert Horry remains safe than me.
The speaker didn't hit you. He's far more
Stop
important.
living in the past,
Thank you very much. Here you go right there. Put those on.
We are joined by Lakers legend, 5 championships, number 5, 7 championships in all, Robert Horry. How are you, man?
Big dog. Hold on. Let me turn you on, right? He is on. There we go.
Excuse me. 3 championships with the Lakers, 7 in total.
Yeah.
There we
keep everything in track.
No, it's all good. It's all good. It's hot. Beautiful day, though. It's not as hot as it has been, but
yeah,
I'm excited to be here.
How you hitting them out there?
In the bushes.
I asked Fish earlier. The Laker fans are very familiar with the scouting report of Derek Fisher, the basketball player. What's Derek Fisher, the golfer? Same thing with you. Mm-hmm. We know your scouting report as a player on the court. What about on the course?
Let's say this. I wouldn't even be in the gym.
Really?
No. Golf is not my sport. I get tired. I want to drink. I want to go lay down. It's hot out here, man.
But it's fun, though.
You forget.
You can drink on the course. You're allowed.
This is not baseball or football. I'm used to control elements. Basketball. I'm like AC over here. I got my Gatorade over there. So I got to get to
the ball goes generally where you tell it to.
Exactly.
Not in golf. It has a mind of its own. Mm-hmm. We were having this discussion right before you came on about dare I say role players? How do we put that? Guys that mean a lot to a franchise that are not necessarily.
There is such a thing as elite role players, and that's the way you've often been described in your careers, like the elite of role players, guys that were not considered superstars or all-stars, but they were integral parts of championships and success at the highest level.
Does that feel like a slight to you, or is that a good way to describe you, your career?
Well, it depends on how you look at it. For me, everybody has a role. Shaq's role was to score a lot of points, get rebounds. Kobe's the same. Our role is just a little lesser. Mm-hmm. They don't pin us to do as much. But I think our role is sometimes more important than the big dog's role because we sacrifice so much. I think a lot of times people forget, we were number 1 players in our high school and our colleges. And so when you get to the NBA and you got certain guys you have to take a back seat to, not saying like, you think about it. My first couple of years in the league, I was averaging double figures. When I get to the Lakers, I get like 3 shots a game. So you can't score unless you get shots.
Right.
So you're sacrificing that for the betterment of the team because at the end of the day, the most important thing is winning. So I think every player that comes out sacrificing, being able to do what they can do to make the team win are the most important players on the team because there's so many of us that sacrifice our games for the faith of the team.
Well, it's also, too, it's not easy to do that because in a lot of ways you have fewer opportunities to make your mark.
Yeah.
Like someone like Kobe or Shaq, other superstars – they get a lot longer leash if they're having to play through something because those guys are always going to get their shots. You guys have a finite amount of times and opportunities to make that mark.
The crazy part about it is you get to the end of the game and say, okay, we need to make you a shot. Well, why didn't you do this during the game? We would be in this position,
Trying to feed Shaq.
And that's what you got to understand. Like, think about, guys like myself and, Ray Allen and guys who, Ray Allen got more plays ran from, but people like myself where all of a sudden you throw in the game like, yo, we need you to win this game, not getting a shot. I'm like, why didn't you give me a rock a couple of, throughout the game? Let me get warmed up because it's a specialty. You got, Derek Fisher's like that too. So it's a specialty. And I think sometimes we don't get enough credit for the things that we do. And the thing is, we're not in this game for the credit anyway. In this game to win.
Well, that's the question I wanted to get to. I do 2 things. I wonder, do they tell you, like, Robert, you're just going to get less shots? Do they tell you that, or you just kind of figure it out?
I think with Kobe and Shaq, you didn't necessarily have to have it spelled out.
Well, when you get into practice, all of a sudden, like, dang, I used to get play ran from it. Now, like, we run all these plays in practice, and none of them are your number call. You're like, okay, I see what's going on.
I see what my role is. Do you care about being remembered? Because we talked about how many rings you have and how do you honor guys. Do you care about being remembered infinitum?
It's part of me does and part of me doesn't. And I think the most important thing is if I'm remembered by my teammates, because in a good way. Because you can remember some teammates.
This is true.
They've been a bad way. And I think if you ever meet one of my teammates, anybody I played was like, oh, he was a true professional. He cared about winning. And that's the most important thing because outsiders sometimes we don't really care what their opinions are because they don't know what's inside. They don't know what I bring to the locker room. That's one of the things I tell a lot of guys is it's amazing how many guys are important to a team that you don't even see what they do. You see the guys in the huddles doing all this hand clapping and yelling and talking, and they say, oh, that must be the leader of the team. that really ain't the leader of the team. The leader of the team in the back that's talking to the big dog saying, yo, we need to do this.
Wait, hold on. Did you see him flinch? He's afraid. The wind kicked up, and he looked right at the speaker. See? You're afraid.
That
see?
thing came within 6 inches
Got in your head.
hitting me. All right? Like, I got to keep my head on a swivel. To your point, though, I remember in one of Phil's books, I don't remember which one because he wrote a few, but in the 2000 finals, or it was either 2000 finals or Portland Game 7, one or the other in the Western Conference Finals, you guys were down at the half, and Rick Fox ended up giving the big speech to everybody. And, like, one of the coaches, I think maybe Phil was like, oh, I better get in the middle of this. And another coach was like, no, let him go. And it was one of those times where because Fox was not Kobe or not Shaq, him speaking up gets everybody's attention because you got to pick your spots kind of like on the court. If you're going to do that, you have to pick your spots.
Yeah, every guy, you had moments with B. Shaw, Rick, myself, and Fish. You pick your spots, and everybody does it differently. Rick was a very emotional guy. He wanted to do it in front of guys. To me, Shaq and I, we talk so much shooting free throws after practice and stuff like that. And Kobe on the planes, we would talk. To me, those are the best leaders because now I'm getting to know you as a person. I don't need to be in that moment where sometimes the moments get heated and it might come out the wrong way. And now you done made me look at you like cross-eyed. So
right.
When you sitting down, we having this one-on-one, you can remember what I said during that moment because there's no adrenaline flowing, there's no crowd yelling. So we sat on the plane, we sat in practice, and it's going to resonate a little bit more. So that's the kind of leader I tried to be. A guy just talk to a guy off, outside of doing the moment of the game because the camera's on. Let's be honest. There's so many guys that know the camera's on.
Oh, of course.
And they trying to impress the camera, impress someone. So, no, that's never me.
But we've all done it. Of course. Yeah. We know the camera's there. We've all done it. Yes.
One of the classic Kobe moments is on a drive. He ends up on the ground. He looks over the camera and gives that little flicker with his finger. Mm-hmm. He's clearly aware of where the camera is. Otherwise, you don't do that.
Yeah.
Speaking, though, just to make sure you did get your due respect and appreciation, one of the three-peat seasons, one of the championship runs, I don't remember which one, but remember the old TV guides? Remember the TV guide did, heading into the finals, a different series of covers with different players in the finals, particularly Lakers. You were one of the TV Guide cover guys.
Yes.
And I know this because you were my mom's favorite player. And I went out of my way to get her a Robert Horry TV Guide, which I believe she still has.
I still have mine.
Okay.
So you know exactly what I'm talking about.
I thought you were going to pull it out and say, sign it.
I know exactly
But for people like us of a certain age, that's a big deal, being on TV Guide.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, TV Guide, and just being on TV, period, for most of us. You think I come from a small town in Andalusia, Alabama, and, having that opportunity to get on TV and play in front of people was so fantastic to me because, when you're in a small town like that, you don't get the access to a lot of coverage. And so when you're able to play for a Lakers and you're on TV constantly, they get to see you and they're proud of you. So I try to make my little small town proud by going on there, performing the best I can, and winning a couple of chips.
I got one left, and I always ask, your top five, and I know that's so old and cliche, your top five players, and can Luka somehow go up and attain that at some point?
Top five Lakers or top five period?
Period.
No, Luka would never make that. And I love Luka's game because I'm old school. You got to be able to play defense for me.
Okay.
And I love Luka's game, but if you look at guys like MJ, Kobe,
LeBron,
Olajuwon, Duncan, LeBron, Kareem, all these guys to me played on both ends of the court, and that's what basketball. It's not football where you timeout sub or let's substitute and you can't do that in basketball. So, you don't get me wrong. You got great players like Steph, Luka, and all these guys. James Harden, great players, but it's my list. It's my list, right?
Yes,
right. And that's the key to this. It's my list, and I look at basketball totally different. And everybody says, "Oh, that's just the old school." But no, I'm like, dude, you can. I want you to play a little. I want you to be great on. Think about Kobe and MJ. They were great on the defensive end. That's why they're considered the best of all time. Look at LeBron. He was great on the defensive end. That's why you jump into that upper echelon, that Mount Rushmore, when you can do it on both ends of the floor.
Dude, I'll just put it simpler. When you have 7 championships, 3 with the Lakers, you're allowed any
Your
damn
list
list
is
that
the
you want.
list, yes.
He is Robert Horry, Big Shot Bob, 7 championships in all, 3 with the Lakers, number 5. Appreciate your time, brother.
Does the top of this tent look far away to you? I can't believe how tall you guys are.
I'm waiting for it to blow away.
See, now you understand why I was afraid, Robert. Now you understand why I was afraid.
You did.
I think he forgets he's well grounded. He's really slow to the ground, so you're not going anywhere.
All right, we've had enough of you, Robert Horry. Take off.
Thank you,
Go
sir.
enjoy some golf. We are joined right now, by the way, by Sean Vasquez, the president.